do that first. So, welcome to another episode of the Sloppy Syndicate Show. Yes, we are a few minutes late. And do you know why? Because my dumbass did not send the link to Dishonor the Dawn. So, I'm sitting in the green room waiting on Dishonor the Dawn. And yeah, they did not get the link. So, they are in the green room now. We have got this all sorted out. And they're coming across the pond. They're coming from England. So, we're going to chat with them a little bit. Relatively new band. Do love the music. They have an acoustic version of a heavier song that they have done as well. So we're going to give you a little taste of that now and enjoy.
Her heart will sink until it finds its place amongst all doubt and dead weight. Can't fight, but it's all on us. So just a ship lost out at sea. Hold on, remain steadfast. Keep moving forward and not look back. Hold on, remain steadfast. This breath will not be the last.
Whoa, throw it to the wind, cast it to the sea, leave it here for dead.
There we have it, folks. That is a banger. I love that song. Just the vocals, the clean vocals and everything. So let's go ahead and welcome Dishonor the Dawn all the way from England. Let's go ahead and bring them in now. How we doing? It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Sorry for the hiccups. It might have helped if I would have sent you the link in the first place. So how you doing all the way over there?
Doing pretty well, thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. So you are from England. So what time is it over there? I know it's
2 a.m.
2 a.m. All right. So staying up late for the Sloppy Syndicate. Well, we appreciate that. So we are streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. So folks, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to throw them in the chat. Once again, I do apologize. I totally messed up sending them the link. So we are a little bit late today. However, we hope we can make it up to you and pleasure your ear holes just a little bit. So I discovered Dishonor the Dawn about 2 weeks ago on that Space Zebra show. They had submitted a song and definitely fell in love with the song. So reached out and got them on the show. So tell us a little bit about Dishonor the Dawn yourself. I know the band is relatively new, starting February of 2022. So you have 3 songs out now and all very good. So folks, you better check them out while you can. But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and the band.
So the band actually started. I'm going to apologize because my internet is very, very bad. So I really, really hope that I really hope that this doesn't affect the show. But the band actually started in 2018. I'd put the band together with another singer at the time. And we had one show. I think we were together for about 3 months. And we managed to get one show. And just over the course of time, we kind of drifted apart. And after the pandemic wore off, I wanted to kind of bring Dishonor the Dawn back. And I brought it back initially with another screamer. And then, unfortunately, due to personal problems, we ended up dismissing him in the summer of 2021, and from there the rest is history. Really, we just kind of gelled really well together, and we've been pretty much doing this ever since.
Awesome. So yeah, my timeline's a little bit off. So started a little bit earlier than I thought. But where does the name Dishonor the Dawn come from? Is there a meaning behind that, or is that something? I mean, I love the name, so I probably would have never thought about it. But is there a meaning to that?
There is, yeah. The meaning behind it was because we talk a lot about mental health in our songs, and we talk a lot about specifically like things that have affected us, such as like depression, suicide, things of that nature. And when we talk about suicide in particular, we try to give a message of hope and try to give a message of there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And one of my favorite quotes is that there's always darkness before dawn. And when you take your life, when you commit suicide, when you leave this world via your own hand, you are dishonoring that dawn. So that's sort of how that kind of came about, because no matter what happens in life, no matter what goes on in life, there is always going to be that. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. I find myself at times, especially lately, I find myself thinking that, oh, it's not worth it. It's not, this isn't worth it. And it can be very difficult. But the thing is that there are people out there who care, and there are people out there who do love you and who do want to be there for you and want to help. And the thing is, it should never be an option. It should never be an option of taking your life. It should never be a case of that, if that makes sense. So
Correct.
that's something that something we feel very strongly about.
Yeah. And, mental health is coming to the forefront now. Before it was super taboo for men to kind of, I have depression or anxiety or things like that. So it's getting better over here. I'm not sure how it is in the UK, but there's not that stigmatism here where you're weak or you're a sissy or anything like that. Now over here, it's more openly talked about. And I typically end the show this way, but however, it is the perfect time. So over here in the U.S., we have the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. It's 988. So you can call it or text that. Recently changed to a 3-digit number. And like he said,
Yeah,
you matter. So reach out to someone, reach out to a loved one, reach
you
out to
do.
myself, reach out to anybody. So that's where the name Dishonor the Dawn
Yeah.
comes from. So very, very cool how
I mean, we were very we were very grateful to. I don't know if anyone has seen that clip of it was of Paddy the Baddy, which was from a UFC tournament, and recently his one of his friends, Ricky, had unfortunately committed suicide. And I mean, UFC is known for their macho, tough guy sort of bravado, as it were. And he proceeded to take the mic and he said, and forgive me, I'm about to do a very terrible Liverpudlian accent, but he took the mic and he said, 5 hours before me weigh-in, I got a phone call saying that my friend Ricky had taken his own life. There's a stigma surrounding men that men can't talk, and I'd rather have me mate cry on his shoulder than go to his funeral. So men start talking. And I was like, yeah, I mean, especially in the UFC atmosphere,
right.
Where it's tough bravados and it's, the strong guys and all that kind of stuff. That really meant a lot to a lot of people for him to say that. And yeah, it did. It took a lot. It took a lot of guts and a lot of courage to say that. So I think I can certainly say we support that message.
And you did the perfect impression. You sounded just like him. So, but yeah,
Thank you.
and that, I mean, and that's on a worldwide stage. So that was huge.
Yeah.
For him to, even do that. So not only will that help the stigmatism going forward, hopefully that will open more avenues for individuals that are less hopeful, we'll say. So, but yeah, so that's where Dishonor the Dawn comes from. So what in the future, I know you have the 3 songs out now, well, the 2 songs and then the 1 acoustic. So what are your plans going forward? I know that you guys had submitted to Battle for the Big Stage over here in the US. But give us your plan for the next couple months or a couple years. You got any shows coming up? What's going on with Dishonor the Dawn?
Well, we have a single coming out next week, which is Black Dog, and we're also going to get to recording another single, which is going to be called Into the Black Night, which is going to be very different, very, very different. because one of the things that we're heavily against is bullying in any forms. And lately we've noticed that there's been an uprise in especially new bands being targeted, because I think Nailbite was unfortunately being targeted for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure why, but they were being targeted and being bullied and being harassed online. And we're no different. I mean, I've had so many people accuse me of really, really disgusting things, and it's primarily because of the fact that I speak my mind, and I'm very, very open with how I am, and with how I with how I interact with people. And I think a lot of people seem to misunderstand or misconstrue that, and they form their own opinions. And so Into the Black Night is kind of our way of saying, we're not what you say we are, and we're not going away anytime soon, and we're going to stand strong against people who bully others and people who try and take advantage of others. And it's certainly going to be quite hard hitting. I think you could maybe compare this to. I think you can maybe compare this to Michael Jackson's Scream, if you will. This is going to be our Scream, as it were.
Okay.
To just basically say to people, you're not going to stop us, you're not going to break us, and you're not going to tell us what we can and can't do. So Black Dog is coming out next week. Again, a song about hope, mental health, and then we're going to start work on Into the Black Night, which is, again, going to be a very hard-hitting one, but we're quite proud of it, and we're certainly not going to hold any punches.
Yep, let it
So to
all
speak.
out. So yeah, and I've
Yeah.
noticed an uptick, especially. I mean, social media makes it so easy to pick on people, and I see it
Yeah.
on TikTok all the time. Somebody will post, maybe they have, they're, handicap or have a disability, and people, they're big tough guys on the internet. They say whatever they want, but they really don't understand the
Oh, yeah.
repercussions that that has on that individual, or things that I mean, it's a crazy world out there now. So yeah, it's good that you guys bring
Yeah.
up the bullying and the suicide and things like that. And I think that makes your lyrics a little more, I don't want to say pure, but a little more relatable. That's probably the correct word, especially
Yeah.
this day and age. Because I'm sure we've all dealt with someone that's been bullied, or we've been bullied, or we've dealt with someone that has committed suicide, or someone close to us. Something has happened to. So I'm always big into the lyrics, and when that can kind of hit home or bring something home, those are the deeper songs that I really enjoy. So
I appreciate that. I mean, the three things that we stand by, the three main things that we stand by, is we are anti-censorship, anti-suicide, and anti-cancel culture. We don't want anyone to feel as though they can't say or do what it is that they feel is right for them. And the one thing that we'll never accept is people who think that they have a right to target others or bully others into submission or into silence. And we've seen it so many times with people who feel like who feel like they feel like they're an outcast. They feel like they're the black sheep. They feel as though they don't belong anywhere. And then they see, this group, or they see a certain demographic, and they try and join it, or they try and be a part of it, and then they get shunned because of something that they may think or that they may say. And again, that has in the past led to suicide, which connects to that. It's not right. It's really, really not right that things like this keep going, and it needs to be something that needs to be addressed, because unfortunately, there are also companies that are allowing this to occur, that are allowing this to happen. And we need, yeah, we need to speak up about it. We need to tell people, you know, hey, you're not alone in this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I can kind of relate, to that. Back in high school, we were kind of the punk rocker, different, we wore different
Oh
clothes, we
yeah.
wore different things. And, so even back then we had you kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's the preppy group. All right. Those are the weirdos or the punk rockers or, so even in, when I was younger in school, there was, kind of that stigmatism, kind of surrounding certain groups or certain music or the way they dress, things like that. Um, and I think the world
Yeah.
is making moves in the right direction. I hate those cars. I got going by the house with a super loud exhaust. I mean, I'm in a padded room and I can still hear it, but yeah, I think we've made a huge step forward in a lot of that, but we still have a lot of progress to make. So.
Yeah, I think in some ways we've gotten a lot better at it, because it's great that we're talking about mental health a lot more openly. But at the same time, there are those groups of people that target um, much more vulnerable people or people who may not feel as though they belong anywhere. And I mean, all you are is just one comment away from potentially someone taking their own life because of something that you could say to them. And a lot of people don't seem to realize that, nor do they really seem to care. They want to get their feel good moment. They want to get their likes. They want to get those views. And it's not right. People need to realize that everybody is a human being. Everyone has feelings. Everyone has moments where they're gonna feel like absolute. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear or not, so I
Yeah,
apologize in
you're good.
advance. But they're okay, cool. But they're gonna have those days where they feel like absolute shit. And if you come to them and say, and you gang up on them, and you get all these people around them to bully them because of something that they may have said that got taken the wrong way or something like that, it can and has in the past led to suicide because they feel as though they can't take it. It's one of the reasons why we do what we do, because we want people to understand that there is a hope, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a way that you can get out of this. And it's not by taking your own life. It's by reaching out to people that you trust, by feel is talking to someone that you feel is right for you. You very kindly put up the suicide hotline number, which is 988. I'll reiterate that again. At least in the US. It might be different over here. But it's something that everyone needs to know. You do matter. And I'm talking to each and every one of you that's listening right now. You do matter. You have a purpose in life. You have a reason for being here. There are 1,000,001 odds of you existing on this planet, and you exist. That must
For
mean
a reason.
something. That must have some significance on this world. Because, not to get too graphic here, but 250 million little seeds, and you were the one that got through. Not to sound too graphic there, but it is
You,
it
you,
is the truth.
you were the winning swimmer.
Yep, you were the winning swimmer, and you got here. There has got to be a purpose for that. It wasn't just by pure coincidence. And we really need to start treating others with a lot more respect, with a lot more love, a lot more dignity. And yeah, okay, some people may say or do things that they don't necessarily mean. People make mistakes sometimes. We're all human beings. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes sometimes. I certainly have. Varus has. Yeah. There are loads of people that have made mistakes. But the one thing that we can all do is, if we can learn to start forgiving each other and learn to love each other, and just stop with all of this bullying and this canceling and this ganging up upon people, because again, it can lead to depression, it can lead to isolation and suicide. And if there's one thing that we know, is that isolation heightens that suicide risk even more. Just look at 2020 during lockdown.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was very tough for a lot of people. So I always like to say it's cool to be cool, but do it with kindness. You can be cool,
Absolutely, yeah.
and you can be the superstar that you want to be, but you can always be kind. So that's the most important part. Be kind. Do what treat people how you want to be treated. I mean, it's that simple, but yeah, it's so hard for people to understand. And I mean, I'm guilty of being a dickhead. I mean, I can't say I'm
You
perfect,
know,
but
I'm not. I'm certainly not gonna. I'm certainly not gonna say that I'm perfect. You know, I've said things. I've said things that are controversial. You know, I mean, I've certainly got what a lot of people may think are controversial opinions. But the fact is that they're opinions. They're my beliefs, and I'll stick by them until my dying breath. The fact is that I'm not out to hurt anybody. I'm not out here to try and tell people what they can and can't think. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I am not here to tell you what you can and can't believe. What I am here to tell you is that if you are being bullied or abused or controlled or manipulated or whatever the case may be, don't think that you have to pay attention to any of those people, whether it's 100 people or 1,000 people telling you that you're wrong, that you deserve this, that, and the other, and that you suck. It doesn't matter, because the fact is that those people, they don't matter. They don't know you. They're only doing it because they want to get a rise out of you. They want to get a reaction out of you. If you can turn that off and focus on the people who you love and who love you, you've automatically won.
yeah, and nothing makes them madder than seeing you happy and smiling. I've learned
Absolutely.
that if they're being a dick, smile at them, and it pisses them off even more. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so what I've become, obviously, one of your songs
Yeah.
was co-written by Kai Underhill. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about Kai Underhill. Is he a big producer, a big writer over there, or and folks that are just
I
tuning in? Dishonor of the Dawn is from England, so we have them all the way from across the pond. So
even though I don't sound it myself, but um, Kai Underhill is he's a session musician and guitarist, but he's also a songwriter, and he got songwriting credits because the guitar solo that is heard on "What I've Become" was written by himself. So we're very big in giving people writing credits where they're due. Because especially in the music industry, I mean, it doesn't happen too much anymore because the laws have been changed a lot, thankfully. But especially in the early 1990s, like people were um, doing stuff without permission from other artists and getting away with it. For example, does anybody remember the song "Gonna Make You Sweat"? It's the one that where it starts that goes, "Everybody dance now," um,
bow, bow,
which
bow, bow, bow. I think that's the one, right?
that's the one. Yep, that's the one. Yep, that was sung by a woman called Martha Wash, and most of you might not recognize that name. However, you might recognize the song "It's Raining Men" by the Weather Girls, and that was her. However, what they did was they took her vocal of "Everybody Dance Now" and had her being lip synced by a slim, sexy woman in the music video, and because I guess Martha Wash was too fat for them. But you know, thankfully laws have changed now, and people get credited a lot more, and we're very very big on that. We like to credit people who, even if they just write one single note, well, you've written that one particular note for that song, so therefore you get credit. Um,
Right. Yeah,
but
and
yeah,
I
Kai
know.
Underhill is sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying. I know some like older artists, back in country artists and things like that back in the day. Um, I mean, essentially had their stuff taken, and the other people made the money. And they just kind of took credit for their songs, things like that. So like you said, things have changed, things have progressed. Is the music industry perfect? Absolutely not. But again,
No.
it's come a long way where, it definitely has come a long way. Um, even streaming, it's kind of the new, we're in a digital era, obviously, but
Yeah.
the streaming still, there's been a lot of talk with artists and the streaming platforms that they're not fairly paid, and they're getting pennies on a dollar per stream. So that's another that's probably the new debate. Kind of like back then, they didn't have the laws to protect people from taking your song, stuff like that. Now the big debate is how much money are we going to make per stream? Obviously the Spotify and that are making a ton of money. So it just kind of depends. So, but yeah, so.
I mean, it's a shame that, I mean, if it were up to me, I would have it as $1 per stream. That would just be my take on it. But even then, I'd still say that that's ridiculously minimal compared to because I mean, you can have the argument of, well, hold on a moment. Madonna would probably make like billions and billions of dollars then in that case. What about, the lowly old streamer who has one listener per month, or something like that.
Right.
So I guess the argument could be made that it wouldn't be fair, but it just all depends on the person, I suppose.
And speaking of that, supporting the band, does Dishonor the Dawn have a website? Where can, for the folks listening on the podcast, where can we find you guys at?
So you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. We currently do have a website that is being under construction. We just need to pay a few more, make a few more payments, and because we can't, I don't know for the life of me how to construct a website. I really, really don't. So we just have to make a couple more payments, and then we're good to go. But yeah, there will be a Dishonor the Dawn website. Absolutely.
Awesome. And obviously merch is to come and stuff like that we can support.
Merch, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep. Merch. That'll be so much. Yeah, we did do a little tester to see how well we did. And to be fair, for a band that at that point didn't even have any music out, it was decent. It was decent. Yeah, it was actually all right because we had some beanies that we put together. Well, we didn't put them together. It was Kaida, who, if you guys want to check her out, she's amazing. She's a rapper and a scream artist as well. She writes her own music, writes her own beats. So feel free to check her out, Kaida. She's absolutely amazing. I think she's one of the few trans rappers that's currently going at the moment. So I have a lot of respect for her.
Yeah, and she made the beanie, so I mean that's that's awesome.
And beanies to come back. We definitely want the beanies to come back, absolutely. But yeah, there will be beanies, there'll be bags, t-shirts,
all right.
condoms, butt plugs, you name it.
I'm not for selling condoms. Just
right.
like their own condoms taste like.
Have a DTD on the shaft.
Yeah.
And I always say every stream, shirt, a CD is the equivalent to approximately 6,500 streams. I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing it, but for the folks that are just tuning into the podcast, a t-shirt makes a difference. That's 6,500 streams. That's a lot of streams. So do your part to support local bands. And obviously it was a pleasure having you guys on the show all the way from England. It's probably about 3 a.m. there now. So I appreciate you guys taking the time and staying
there. Yeah.
And, coming on the Sloppy Syndicate show. So with the new songs, do you plan on putting those into the unsigned charts and stuff like that with Space Zebra? Or how'd you guys find out about Space Zebra? I thought that was kind of being so far, being across the pond, I find it interesting how it, got there.
Well, we were in contact with Nailbite, and we were also speaking with Lily, which is Nailbite's mother.
Okay.
I think that's their mom. It's one of the band members' moms. Anyways, we she had put us in touch with Space Zebra, and she said all you got to do is message this person and they'll put you on, but you got to do X, Y, and Z in order to get your song played on there. So we tried the first time, and the link that we sent was a Spotify link, not a YouTube link, which we're like, didn't realize we had to do that. The second time, it didn't get played because we didn't get enough votes for it, which was fine. And the third time, we did manage to get it played because we substituted it for a YouTube link, and it was all good.
Okay.
And we got a 56% overall positive response, which, to be fair, for Twitch is pretty damn good, because I've seen a lot of Twitch commenters in certain streams, and they can be pretty vicious. They can be pretty harsh. So to get a 56% overall approval rating, pretty good for a first time.
Right, and it's overall it's a heavier based listener, or heavier metal, or heavier rock. So yeah, like you said, it's not a bad vote at all. And Nailbite, super up and coming band. I actually they're playing Metal Mayhem Fest next Friday. We're putting on down here in Orlando.
No way, really?
So we'll have them from a PA, and they'll be down here playing a show next Friday. Obviously, they'll be playing Louder Than Life, and yeah, they're making making big waves in the rock metal world. And I was when I first saw them live, like just they're much younger, obviously, and she looks so innocent, and then she starts to scream, and you're like, look, the devil just came out of her. So very, very talented group for sure. And I'm stoked to see them next Friday. So, and if you're listening, folks, and you can't make it, if all goes well, we will be streaming that live on Twitch as well. So you folks
fantastic.
tune in and, watch. We got Werewolves, we got the Dev, Gloomchild, Breed, Sid Stratton, a bunch of bands that you may have seen on the Space Zebra show. So doing a little Metal Mayhem Fest and have some little fun and get some local music. So
absolutely.
But awesome. Any final departing words from you guys?
I guess the only thing I can say is, guys, we've just come out of a lockdown. We've recently come out of a lockdown. We've recently come out of a really, really trying couple of years for us. Everyone needs to start loving each other a lot more. We need to start caring for each other a lot more. We need to start being a lot more in unison with each other. Please stop all the bullshit. It doesn't matter what someone has said. It doesn't matter what someone has done, to a degree, obviously. Obviously, if they've committed a crime, then that's a little bit different.
Right.
But it doesn't matter what someone has said. Even if they've said something you disagree with, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. What matters is the heart and the soul of the person. And if what they truly want in life is just to be able to spread a message, let them spread that message, and let it be up to you as to whether or not you agree or disagree. But don't, under any circumstances, feel as though you're all alone. If you're being targeted, if you're being hated, if you're being bullied, if you're being canceled, I think they call it these days, don't, under any circumstances, feel as though you have to resort to taking your life. It's not worth it. It isn't worth it. And this goes for everyone out there. This goes for every single person out there. You are worth something. You're worth something. You matter to someone, whether it be to your mom, your dad, brothers, sisters, friends. You matter to someone out there. There is no one, there is not one single person who doesn't have at least one good friend in their life. And all you need is that one. And if you can find that person, if you can find whoever that is, if you already have that person within a family member, even better. But if you can find that one person and you can really, really cherish that person and you know that you can trust them, you're set. So don't ever give in to anything that these people say, because as you've seen, they've pushed us a little too far, and now we're fighting back in the best way we know how, and that's with our music. Because guess what? To quote Miles Davis, music has a heartbeat and it needs to be played live, and we're going to give it everything we got. And if you can find whatever it is that drives you and gives you that inner peace and that inner love and that passion, and if you got that big giant middle finger in the most artistic way possible, use it, because you can do it. All of you. This is all of you out there. You can do it.
And very well spoken. And again, it is cool to be cool, but do it with kindness. And we'll put that up again. If you have any issues, reach out to a family friend. Remember, you do matter. And if you need to, reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline that recently changed. It is a 3-digit code now. It is 988. You can call or text that. And again, you matter. So thank you for joining us, Dishonor the Dawn. It was a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to hearing some new music from you guys here next week. And
Thank you very
until
much.
next time, folks, remember, keep it sloppy, and we'll see you soon.
See you
Have a
later.
nice night.